Hey, everybody, this is Mark.
This is Justin.
And this is Zach.
And this is Awkward Fist Bump Productions.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So today we have got a great guest. This guest is Matt from season 6. Many of y'all know him as the Marine. And so if you watch season 6, you'll definitely know him. We definitely kind of wanted to bring him on and just kind of have a roundtable discussion, maybe some questions if you don't mind, Matt, and just find out, hey, what's going on in your life, just type of stuff. But first, before you do that, make sure you subscribe, like, share our videos, and also you can become a Patreon VIP member if you look in the bio. All right, so Matt, what's up, bro?
Living life, man. Just trying to navigate through COVID and all the craziness like everybody else.
Okay. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and just that big elephant in the room. We'll go ahead and throw that out right now. All right, Matt. How long did you stay on 60 Days In?
I was in there for about a week.
About a week.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I'm saying let's go ahead and get the elephant, out of here. Let's go ahead and start eating it one piece at a time. Is because obviously people are going to be like, that's that dude that quit. But Matt's a Marine. Matt has done the 60 Days In project, whereas many of y'all have not. So you don't know exactly what was going on. So let's talk about that for a second. Matt, what happened?
I said it on the reunion. I said it in my interview. I underestimated jail. I mean, that stuff was pretty scary. It was a different environment. It was an environment that I could not adapt to. And I accept that. I own that. You could say whatever you want in my DMs. At the end of the day, you still watch the show and you thought about me enough to DM me. So it's okay with me. You know what I mean? I have no ill will to anybody. I think everybody in our cast is pretty cool. We all talk on the side. None of us really have any animosity. I know what I went there for. I was unable to accomplish it, and I accept that, and it is what it is.
Outstanding. So I talked to Matt a little bit earlier on the phone today, and one of the things we talked about is my episode with season 5, and it's been off now a year and a half. And just the other day, I was still getting mail from people. Like, I get love mail, but I also get hate mail. So I was trying to tell them, hey, man, I want you to go ahead and kind of address the issue now because, man, we get a lot of hate, don't we, Matt?
Oh, man, especially, I mean, I can't imagine what you get, but I know what I get. And sometimes it's hate. I've gotten love. I've gotten, kudos to you for trying all that and stuff like that. As far as the hate goes, I mean, why waste your time, man? Like, I'm not going to respond to you, one. Two, it's a TV show, man. Like, look, half the reason people believe in what they believe in today's world is because they believe everything they see on TV. All right. They believe everything is the word of mouth. All right. It's not like that. It's a TV show. It was an experience. It was an experience I didn't want to be a part of anymore. So, if you hate on it, you hate on it. It's no bias to me. Thanks for watching the show, though, and keeping the ratings going because that helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it helped you get on the show. Now it doesn't really help at all.
Yeah, now it doesn't help at all. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they like now. It doesn't matter if they continue watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, true. So, and I wanted to talk about that in the beginning so we could go ahead and get that behind us, man, because I know I get a lot of love, but I do get, like, just I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, I got a hate mail from, I think it was on my Instagram account. So most of the time I don't pay attention, but for some reason I decided to screenshot this guy and I went ahead and just posted it on my Instagram account. And I went ahead and let my fans take care of him from there. I don't usually do that, but I did that in this guy's case. And so, Matt, what's going on, dude? What are you doing now?
So I'm still in property management, still doing home inspections, stuff like that. It's really funny. I went to this lady's house, and, everybody's got to wear masks now and everything. We take it a little bit further. We wear boot covers and we wear gloves and everything like that just because we're in their personal spaces. On the TV, when I walked in, she had 60 Days In on. And she was at episode 4. so she was at episode 4. So I had already left. I left at the beginning of episode 3. And I went, "Hey, you a fan of the show?" And she said, "Yeah." And I took my mask off, and she went, "You're the Marine who cried." And I said, "Yep, that's me. I'm not like, it's not a big deal to me. You know what I mean?" Because a lot of times, and something I've always wanted to draw the light is everybody's got this false perception about veterans, and we got to be the toughest of the tough, and we can't show emotions, and we can't do things like that. That stigma right there is the reason why you have 22 veterans a day that will end their lives, is because they feel like they can't express their feelings, they can't get out there, look for help because of the stigma the society puts on them. Yeah, they're rough and tough, but they deal with everything you guys deal with tenfold,
And then you also have the whole mainly male perspective that
exactly.
also makes that 10 times worse.
Exactly.
When most males are told, "Hey, you're a man when you're growing up. You crying about a skinned knee is not okay. You crying about a splinter isn't okay." And that just probably multiplies it even farther.
Exactly. I think it's a great point to shine at this point,
So how long were you a Marine for?
I was in for 4 years.
Okay, cool.
It's that for and out life.
My brother, he was a Marine, so nice. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, tell us about your time in the Marine Corps, Matt.
So I was a motor team mechanic. I joined in 2011. I got out in 2015. I did one tour to Afghanistan. I was there for about typical deployment, 7 months. That was 2013 to 2014. It was a good time. I've met people that I consider family now. You know what I mean? I'll drop whatever I'm doing to be there for them if I can. I have brothers that I've made. My whole family has been in the Marine Corps, from my mom, my dad, my 2 older brothers. So it was kind of that thing like, "Hey, what are you doing after high school?" Look around like, I really don't have a choice. I got to go do that for at least 4 years. So, yeah, I mean, the Marine Corps was good for me. The Marine Corps treated me really well. I had a good experience. I made great friends, got to travel the world a little bit. So the Marine Corps gave me everything I expected it to.
So here's an interesting little factoid for you 60 Days In fans. Who did you know from 60 Days In prior to even coming on 60 Days In?
Yeah, I knew Vivian from she was in the Navy when I was in the Marine Corps, and we had knew each other for a little bit, hung out a couple times. Never dated or anything like that, but yeah, we knew each other.
That's crazy.
And that was your link to 60 Days In, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I saw her on there, and I was like, "Yo, how did you get on that?" And I hadn't talked to her in years at that point. You know what I mean? Kind of one of those friendships that just kind of faded. And I hit her up. I said, "Hey, how'd you get on?" And she sent me the link. I get asked that a lot in my DMs. I'm sure you do too. "Hey, how do I get on there?" It's not
everybody
like
wants to be on TV.
Exactly. And I applied, got a phone call. The rest was history.
That's awesome.
So go ahead.
No, it's all you.
I was just saying, what was your mindset going into, because I just finished up doing 10 years in prison straight, and like going into jail, one day I'm free, next thing I'm locked up, and it's like, it's a completely different mindset inside of jail and inside of prison. And what was your mindset going into it?
I was kind of like fogged out. Everything's kind of a blur from the moment, the guy, as soon as the sheriff said someone's going in right now, I was like, damn it, I know it's me. I know it's me for a fact. And
did they edit that weird and showed you coming in first, or did it just you came in first into the room regardless, and they already had that joke? They already had that joke.
And I just laughed because when the marshals, the guys who picked me up and brought me over in the van, they were like, they handed me the little paper, and they're like, "Yeah, we knew you were going in this morning before you woke up." And I was just like, bastards, man. And I should have, my mindset was really, at the beginning, I was scared shitless. I mean, it is what it is. I'd never been to jail before, never been around people like that before, never been in that situation. So yeah, it scared the hell out of me, to be honest with you. Being in holding was probably like the most depressed I've ever been. Like, you have no idea what's coming next. You don't know where you're going. You haven't ate in 10 hours. You don't got no water. Sitting in a 2-man cell with 6 dudes. I mean, it gets really depressing. Yeah. And then the thing that messed with my head was, I don't live this life. You know what I mean? I don't go through this on a daily basis. So it was even more depressing to think, damn, y'all do this for a living. You guys do this like on a day-to-day basis. I can understand why you're so hell-bent on this system because of what it does to you.
Mm-hmm. What was the worst part of the time that you were in there?
I would say not being able, like, I'm a horrible liar, man. I am a horrible liar. Trying to remember the cover story and being so far away from where I'm originally from. You know, I'm from the West Coast. I'm all the way in the deep South in Alabama. You know what I mean? That's a rough and tough area. Like, I don't care what anybody says. That's a rough and tough area. That was probably the hardest part for me, was accepting, like, shit, I got to do this for 60 days. Like, you know, these guys, one guy, he had been out in for 18 years, was out for a month, and then got booked again. I was like, damn, dude.
I don't understand how anybody wants to do 1 or 2 days, let alone years.
Yeah.
Point, though. Let's talk about your cover story for a minute. So if you watch season 6, you'll see that your cover story was kind of messed up. You were pulled over in where? Huntsville, Alabama?
Yeah, the cover story was because there's an Army base up there. So the cover story was I was, you know, throwing one out on the town with my old buddies. Problem is, it wasn't in the Army. Why the hell am I hanging out with Army guys? Second question is, I mean, I got USMC tattooed on my arm. It's not a secret what branch I was in. You know what I mean? The cover story was, I'm not going to say it was bad, because I'm not going to badmouth the sheriff or anything like that, because he's a great guy, and I think he's in the right mindset for that job. The cover story just didn't fit. Like, when I met the other 4 guys, I started hearing their cover stories. I'm looking like, damn, why couldn't I got the 2 pounds of coke or something? You know what I mean? I get the DUI 2 counties away. And that really triggered my anxiety of, like, shit, this doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I knew the cover story going in. So if I was uncomfortable with it, I probably should have said something sooner. But so that's on me. You know, that's on me. No harm to the production or anything like that. That part's on me, because the story was already given, and I had a doubt about it. But who am I to question a sheriff and a chief who've been doing this their whole life? You know what I mean?
And in that first episode, you really can see that level of anxiety you actually had at that point, and how, I don't know if it was fear or just super, super uncomfortable, but you can see you breaking down in part of the episode and just falling apart and not being able to put yourself back together until you talk to your wife and just tried to calm yourself down.
Yeah, you know, I have a great marriage. I love my wife. She's like the best thing that ever happened to me. That phone call is actually what kept me going. I was ready to quit at that point. Like, fuck, this is not going to work. You know, this is not going to work. Her phone call, her encouragement helped out a lot. And Mark will tell you, you guys don't see everything. You know what I mean? That conversation was probably about a good 15 minutes. They chopped it down to like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? I have never been afraid to admit anything that happened. I was scared shitless. You know what I mean? Especially going in first, right out of training. That had never happened before. Everybody, from what I've seen in the show, everybody, you know, it seems like everybody goes back home, maybe gets a few days or a couple days in their hotel or something to kind of go over what the sheriff just told you, everything about that jail. So here I am, just got told how shitty this jail is. There's not guns, there's weapons, there's drugs, there's whole 9 yards, right? Don't get a chance to process it, because you tell me right after you're done explaining to me at the jail, hey, you're going in right now. So I wish I would have had the mindset that Ashley had, where she was like happy-go-lucky about it. She was ready to get in there and tear it up. It just wasn't where I was at the time.
That's a good point. Up until your season, we had plenty of time to process it. In fact, my season, we went out for training, and something happened in our facility that they couldn't put us in right away. So they sent us all home for a week. And then we had to fly back out to Arizona. So we had time to sit there and get our mind wrapped around it. And I think you brought up a good point, because for anyone that questions your manhood because he didn't make it through, which I think is stupid, by the way. But for anyone that questions your manhood, I mean, hey, dude, I know you're on the show, but we're not giving you a chance to even process it. You're leaving today, right now. As soon as this training's over, you're going. Yeah. What was in your mind when that happened?
No, like my stomach literally dropped. Like You know, like when you're on a roller coaster and you're about to go down. I literally had that moment, and I don't know if you remember in the show, I had a pen, and I was like, "Fuck!" I knew it was me, and I turned, I looked at Alex. They didn't show it in the show, but I looked at Alex. I was like, "This is some bullshit, man." And Alex just started laughing, and he like tapped me on the shoulder. He'd be like, "You be all right." Dennis gave me a hug. He's a good dude. Jacob, you know, he was like, "Glad it wasn't me." And then I kind of like laughed it off at first. I was like, "Whatever, man. Let's just do it." And then when I walked out the door to go change, I just like I broke down, man. I was like, I gotta call my wife real quick. I just gotta let her know what I'm doing, because she was expecting me to call her when I was done with the training. So another, I don't want her freaking out. Like, hey, why is he not blowing me up? You know what I mean? So I wanted to give her a call, and then as soon as I heard her voice, I was like, fuck, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And that kind of like, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was single. So I'd never been away from my daughter like that. I'd never been away from my wife like that. And when you're in the military, it's a different being away. You know what I mean? I'm not locked in a cell for 24 hours a day or 23 hours a day. You know what I mean?
No, you're working.
Yeah, exactly. You're working. You're with your boys. You're with guys who have guns. You know, you can protect yourself. It's a little bit different from being in jail. Being in jail is probably it's probably the scariest thing I've done, man. It was pretty scary. Those guys were real deal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of crazy that, you know, that they actually just like gave you your script and then threw you in there, because they should know anytime anybody comes into jail that's new, you're gonna get hammered. Somebody
Yeah.
in that dorm is gonna hammer you. What are you in here for? Where are you from? What's your charges? Who are you? Are you affiliated? They want to know everything about you.
Are you a choma?
Because yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because we want a, you know, as being a prisoner, right? That's what we do. We find out who you are and all your information to find out, are you known? Can you handle yourself? Do you know how to do time? Are you gonna cause trouble? You know, like you just said, do you have bad charges? Like, are you a snitch? Are you a rat? And we like by asking all these questions, we feed off of how you answer us. And you know, just finding that out now, that they just like told you that and took you in the same day, like that's crazy, man. Like they should have known to be a lot smarter and waited and then let you build your story up and then put you in there, and not done that to somebody who's never been into jail that doesn't know what they're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you walk in there, you are gonna freak out. You're not gonna know what to do. And if you don't have your story completely down and people are hounding you about it, they're gonna pick up on that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. And they did. I mean, the dude next to me, I mean, he knew from the jump, like I was not, you know, I don't think, you know, there was a lot of chatter about there being a show in there. 60 Days In was never really said by any of the inmates, but it was more of like, this doesn't seem right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And me going in there first, I don't know how long it takes to indock somebody to the next pod, you know, for me, because I wasn't there long enough to find out. So it was really weird, because what they didn't show is I played basketball every day the day I was in there. That's like the only thing I could get my mind off of everything. Barely ate because I was just so nervous. So
Right.
I just didn't really eat. You know what I mean? The food was not really that bad, to be honest with you. When I did eat, it really wasn't that bad. It was no worse than eating chow hall food, like at a fob or something. It really wasn't, to me. It really wasn't. Not a fan of grits though, but that's a southern thing. So my cellmate was, I mean, I said it in one of the YouTube videos that they aired. They didn't put it in the show, but they put it on a YouTube video. It says Smoke Break and Matt's cell. And dude, these guys are geniuses when it comes to doing things and finding things that you shouldn't have. You know what I mean? These guys are freaking geniuses. If they could only use that to do better, it would be a better world, you know. But no harm, no foul. Everybody, you know, I'm not diming anybody, you know. Some people live rougher lives than others.
So you said that like you saw the guy grab all of the razors. Like,
Oh, that scared the hell out of me, dude.
what went through your head when you saw that?
I was like, I already know I'm a target. I already know these guys are talking about me. And this dude just grabbed a handful of razors. So at that point, I knew like the weapons were real. You know, I never saw a shank. You know, I wasn't there long enough, obviously. But, you know, what Tony and Dennis did by like finding shanks and drugs and stuff like that, pure evidence that stuff was in there. And those razors were probably going to be used for that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that and I was like, yeah, I mean, you can make something out of a razor, but I mean, that's not exactly what is always going to happen, you know. Like,
Yeah.
there's a million things that we can use it for, like to cut hair. You know,
Oh
if
yeah.
that's somebody's hustle, they're gonna try to get it to cut hair. They're gonna, if
To
they make
chop up
art,
some pickles and onions for some
pickles and
relish.
onions. Yep,
Yeah.
are like making arts and crafts.
But see, I don't know that stuff. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
my
yeah,
world.
yeah,
So when I see
yeah,
it, I think, oh man, this dude's gonna turn it into a shank.
yeah. And like, you know, to use it, two batteries and one razor, break it in half, you can make a spark out of it. So like, there's a thousand different things, but I understand, like, you just got in a confrontation with somebody and then the next thing you know, you see him grab a whole bunch of razors.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the, you know, I got a story I'll tell on Justin's Corner one day, but one of the worst stabbings I've ever saw was from two guys that had two razors on one on the end of a toothbrush that were melted on there. And you know, they tore that guy up. I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but that was probably one of the worst things, was four razors melted onto the end of a toothbrush.
Yeah.
So I can understand, like, when you see that, your mind goes crazy. Like, what could he do with that, you know?
Yeah.
But thankfully, nothing ever happened, though.
No, I mean, it's
In
just like you see it, you don't know the world, you don't know what to expect. You know,
Yeah.
my mind was all over the place. I think when I saw that, I'd only been in there for like 2 days at that point.
Okay.
So I was like, oh shit, it's getting real fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's happening quick. You know?
Is that what caused you to tap out?
No, what caused me to tap out is I just got inside my head, man. I got too paranoid with it. Like I couldn't get comfortable. I had a couple guys I was actually cool with and talking to on a daily basis, and you know, my cellmate Tristan, he was pretty cool. My other cellmate was just off his rocker, man. Dude was high 24/7, talking to demons at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, nah, dude, they're telling you to go to bed. They're not telling you to do anything other than go to bed right now. No, I just couldn't get comfortable. You know, like a lot of guys that did the show, you know, they get comfortable quick. They find an outlet quick. Mark had the Bible study. Mark had that outlet. You know what I mean? Even though it didn't work right away, he still had that outlet. I really didn't have like an outlet or some way to really, I couldn't find a veteran. I couldn't really find somebody to latch onto to build that friendship to kind of help me get through it.
No, it's weird because I look at it and I see how I am. Like I fit in with people very, very easily. So I can get along with just about anybody because I grew up in what I would consider an inner city, but just a small town with very, very mixed races. So I get along with just about anybody. I'm sitting on a call with two Southern people and I'm from upstate New York. So like thinking about it myself, I'm more of a Nate or a Zach, somebody who can just push themselves in there and hide.
Yeah.
But it's super weird to hear other people actually experience things.
the problem is, and Matt can back me up here, is you have in your mind one thing. Oh, it'll go like this, and then A and E has the edit kings. So they have people in New York that's all they do is edit. And I'm not sure how your experience was, Matt, but I know mine. There were things that happened. It was like it didn't happen like that at all.
Yeah, my contract is still valid. So
Oh, whoa, never mind.
yeah, my contract's still valid, so I won't speak on that.
His NDA goes up in 47 days, 6 hours, and 27
Yeah.
minutes.
You know, and to be honest with you, I have even when my NDA is up, I have no ill will to A&E. I have no ill will to any of the production staff. I had a good experience up until the point, you know, where I got inside my head, and you know, until they told me I was going in. Let's be honest. But I knew going in, like that day we showed up to training, I had a lot of doubt in myself. I was like, man, this is actually like really happening. Because when you're doing the interviewing process and you're talking to people and talking to my wife about it, it doesn't feel real at all. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm not going on A&E. I'm just talking about it. And then it happens, and you're like, oh shit, this is like the whole world's going to see this eventually. You know what I mean?
Did that
And
affect you when you came out and your camera's tilting?
yeah, I honestly don't really care what people think about me. I've said that since day one. What I do on TV doesn't make me any more or less of Matt. You'll get
No, I
Matt.
was just saying
You
like
guys.
that that problem of going in there and kind of questioning yourself the entire time while you're sitting there. I'm not sure if I'm doing this. And then you end up in what I would assume, like if I did that, failing in my own opinion and leaving because, I can't handle this. I got to go, regardless of how you feel and what terminology you want to use. How did that actually affect your mental health, or were you just good?
I was just, I don't see it as a failure, not to sound cliche.
Yeah.
It's just something I couldn't do. If I tell you I could do something, and a lot of things I've seen in past seasons is everybody wanted an excuse. Everybody wanted to tell you this and this and this and why they couldn't do it. I told people straight up, I just can't do it. It just wasn't for me. I said it at the reunion. I said it when I quit. When I was in handcuffs, I said, it's not for me, man. I don't think it's safe. Obviously, it's not safe. But I wasn't using that as like a cop-out. I was just telling the producers, like, nah, man, I don't think I could do it anymore. And when I got to the reunion, and I don't remember the guy's name. Who's the guy who moderates it? What's his name? Whoever the guy who moderates it, he was like, he looked at Alex and he said, Marines are notorious for doing really well in the show. How do you feel outlasting a Marine? I kind of took offense to that to a certain point. Like, Alex is my boy, and he knows when I say this, he's not going to take offense to it. But what the hell did he do outside of the show? You know what I mean? He's a college kid. So, yeah, cool, you outlasted me. But that right there is driving a divide. You're trying to start the drama. You know what I mean? When there was no drama to have. I told you I quit. I told you why I quit. It is what it is. Just drop it. And that, I mean, I get it. It's a TV show. They want that drama. They want, they want to cause something.
Yeah. So now, all right, this is something I don't wish on anybody. I never wish anybody to ever go to jail, but just say something crazy random happened and bam, you got locked up. How would you mentally go into it this time knowing that you can't get out? Like, how do you think you would handle it?
I think I would handle it a lot better. One, because if I got locked up, I know it's true. I can't lie about it. I know what I did. I know what I got accused of. I'd actually have real paperwork, and I'd be able to feel more comfortable because I know I'm not on a TV show. I know that camera is not following me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would still be depressed as ever. I mean, I don't know anybody who goes to jail and is happy. I didn't meet one guy in there who was happy to be there. You know what I mean? They accepted it because that's their life. That's what they do. But they weren't happy to be there, and I don't think anybody in there was anything less than depressed.
Yeah.
I think I would handle it better because I would have to. I would have to accept it. There's no tapping out in real life. So yeah, I would just have to deal with it. Hopefully that never happens.
Oh yeah,
I
always
tell my wife, I'm like, hey, we already know I can only last just about a week, so you better come bail me out before those 7 days.
So, on the topic of staying out of jail,
I'm screwed then.
For all three of you guys.
I did 10 years. I'm screwed.
6ix9ine recently was on Logan Paul's podcast talking about snitching and stuff like that. You see somebody commit murder. Watch somebody completely just kill somebody right on the side of the road. And they frame your cousin for it. Your cousin's going away for life. Do you cover for your best friend who stabbed somebody and killed them? Or do you get your cousin out of jail?
Which cousin? No, here's my view on snitching. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I've always, the only people I've ever covered for are my brothers, my blood brothers, and growing up, it was always, we're going to look out for each other. That's a weird question, to be honest with you. I'd probably, I'd rat him out. It is what it is. And my cousin's not the one who killed the guy. I'm not going to ruin somebody else's life or somebody's decision.
No, that's how I thought of it. Was like, I wouldn't, if my cousin has more worth than I do, I would take the fall for my cousin. But I have a family. I'm staying the fuck out of jail.
Yeah.
I'm staying out. Like,
my family will come before anybody and anything on this earth. There's no question about that. My wife and my daughter will come before anybody and anything on this earth.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I don't really. I mean, that's like I plead the fifth on answering that question, but
You wouldn't cover for yourself, Justin? You wouldn't cover for your family?
I plead the fifth, so you never. But 6ix9ine, I really don't want to get into that conversation. I mean, he put himself in that situation.
Oh, he did.
He knew what he was doing. He the whole time, and
if you guys have time, watch that interview.
Yeah,
super interesting.
But he was pulled around like a rag doll, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So
Yep.
he deserved to do time because he was out there living that life, making that money.
That's what was interesting was he
100%
actually broke it down and showed what they were doing and was like, hey, these are the people that you need. These are the heads of the problem right now.
Yeah.
I'll help you get them. And he got out because of it. And I thought about that. I was like, I would like self before everybody else, in all honesty.
Yeah. At the same token, I agree with what you said though about you put yourself in that situation. Just like I put myself in 60 days in. Yeah. I have to accept the fact that I quit early and I got to live with that repercussion, whether it's good or bad. I got to deal with all the stuff that comes with it. Just like if I would have succeeded, I would have had to dealt with everything. I'm a true believer in say what you mean and mean what you say. So if you're gonna do it, live by it and own up to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, what would you have done? Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I am going to be the law enforcement officer here and say I would completely rat the guy out that actually did the killing. Plus, blood is thicker than water. Justin, you family. I'm going to look out for you. I'm going to look out for you. Yeah, bam. Right. But I'm a law enforcement officer. I mean, I'm going to completely say, I don't care who it is, to be honest with you. Just kind of like Matt saying, you know what's right, you know what's wrong. You do something bad, at the end of the day, you got to live with that. And I'm not covering for you, period. But you're talking to two participants in 60 Days In whose sole job was to be snitches to an extent.
That's interesting because Justin has that other aspect of his life. You guys have that aspect of you guys chose to be there. So if you were portrayed in a situation where it was actually something that was around you and you guys saw it, would you hold yourselves accountable for it? Or would you actually be like, hey, I saw what happened. If you guys want the entire story, I'll give it to you. Because it really is that question of, are you worth it? Or is that relationship that more than likely is hurting you worth it?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But when it comes, I plead the fifth.
Justin's afraid of what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not answering that.
He's like, they're watching YouTube on the inside. I might struggle with something.
I ain't struggling.
See, I'm a Leo, so because I'm a Leo, I'm kind of a paid snitch. That's kind of my job. So that's pretty much a no-brainer for me. But
I'm just a firm believer. If you do it, you do it. I mean, you should own it if you do it. You know, I lived a really hard teenage years, always trying to lie to my dad, you know, and I never got away with it, and I kept freaking lying. So now that I'm older, I have my own kid, I've done life a little bit, you know, I pride myself on just telling you the truth. You know, life goes by a whole lot easier if you just own up to whatever you do as a person.
Yeah,
you know? Exactly. If we had more self-accountability in the world, a lot of shit would not be happening right now, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We would actually know who killed Tupac and Biggie.
No, we'll never know that.
Suge Knight.
Or who was on the grassy knoll.
He's the safest bet.
Oh, man. What's the lady that's running for VP?
Oh, Kamala Harris.
Yeah. They asked her who her favorite rapper alive was the other day, and she said Tupac with a straight face.
Me too.
I mean, that just shows you how out of touch people are, like, that are running this country, how out of touch they are. I mean, not saying that you not knowing who Tupac makes you, a horrible person or a bad politician.
Yeah.
It's just that's how out of the loop you are. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Not even out of the loop. She's out of her entire culture. She's from California. How can you be so out of touch of Californian and Western culture that you don't know Tupac died?
It's true.
20 years ago.
I missed that last part of it. You said, who's the most famous rapper alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
would have said Biggie, obviously. Duh.
Mark, don't run for office.
Isn't
Hey.
it that guy XXX Tentacion?
Hey, I don't care what y'all say. I'm jiggy with it. Dun, 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 dun.
Here comes the dad jokes.
Yeah.
Well, before this gets too bad, I think we're going to
Not a
go ahead and
swoop
wrap
party.
up this interview. I don't know that we need to keep this going at this point because otherwise massive dad jokes will be said.
Yeah, we
And
don't need that.
And the only people that'll laugh will be dads that watch our channel. Hey,
And me and you.
I do have some exciting news, and we are going to preface this in the beginning. I think we're going to put it in, I guess, the bio or in the title of the show. But guess who I'm doing an interview with?
Who's that?
Okay,
Donald Trump.
so let's go back to season 5.
That would be awesome.
Season 5, and Matt will know because he is the second generation of super fan. Bam. There was a guy on my season named Dylan, and everybody loved Dylan.
Nice.
Dylan wound up doing several years. He's getting out in 26 days. And me and David from my season, who we were in the pod together, and Dylan are going to have a sit-down interview.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be great because first of all, I haven't talked to him since I left the show, but he reached out. He had a girlfriend reach out to me on social media, and we've been talking on JPay through like the internet or whatever, like I guess the email service in the jail or in the prison he's in. And yeah, so apparently it was so exciting, Justin had to get up and leave.
Through his tablet.
Oh, so that's the tablet.
That's the Chain Gang tablet.
There's a friend of the show that's missing one of those. You might want to give it back. There's a full pod coming for you.
I ain't worried about him. Bring him on.
So y'all
You
stay
might not wanna
tuned
go
the
after
next y'all stay tuned the next month and a half. We are going to have an interview with myself, David, and everyone wanted to know. I get emails to this day about what happened to my boy. So he gets out in 26 days, so be looking forward. All that was real. He really did get jumped because he wanted to hang out with he grew up in an urban area, so he felt more comfortable hanging out with black people than he did white people. But if y'all watch my season, you know very well that was a no-go, not in Arizona. So y'all make sure to tune in for Dylan's interview. That's going to be exciting. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah. Appreciate
definitely,
you coming on here, man.
Absolutely. You guys are a blast, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. We'll talk
We're
to y'all
almost
later.
to 1,000.
Oh.
Help us get there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. On YouTube, we almost have 1,000 subscribers, and our podcasts are doing pretty well, too. We just hit over 1,000 on something on our podcasts. But anyway, love you guys. We will talk to y'all later. Bring it in, guys. Boom.
Yeah. Got him.